Hello everyone, welcome back to Blender Point. My name is Sujat and today we have another tutorial for you. This is part 3 of how to create a ramen bowl tutorial. So today we are going to make the actual bowl as well as the plate over here. So today we are going to go through a very basic modeling. So let's begin. So right now we are going to get back to our blender, so let's do that and let's go to blender itself. Now we have this default cube, and most of the youtubers, they actually go ahead and delete this cube, but we are going to use this cube, so let's do that. So right now I want a bowl, so I'll go ahead and go to my edit mode by go to the edit mode by pressing tab and press 3 to go and select some faces. So I'll say select the first top face over here and press X and delete faces. So that has been deleted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this face at the bottom and just reduce the size, scale it inwards a bit. Now this does not look like a bowl right now, but it will eventually look like a bowl. So what I am going to do right now is I'm going to press 2 over here and select all the edges and scale them again. So right now you see we have this kind of a shape at the moment. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl R, which actually inserts some edges inside this mesh. Now I'll give it some cuts in the middle and some cuts at the bottom for these to deform correctly. Now what I'm going to do next is go to modifiers, add modifier, go to geometry nodes, go to subdivision, surface, and increase the subdivisions. Yes, so now we increased the subdivisions and we can increase some more. So now we can see this does not look like a bowl, so we will do a little bit of mode modeling, like we will scale the edges in the middle and bring it a little bit downwards. Now you see we are getting through it. Now this is, I'm happy with this for the moment. What I'm going to do next is go to solidify modifier and add one solidifier over here and then increase the thickness. So now we have a bowl to work with. So now what I'm going to do is go to our shading tab and then let's add a shader over here, which is basically would be first I'll change this shader to RGB. Now I'm going to take a wave texture first, put it to the base color. Let's go to rendered view, this one, and let's see. So now it is currently deforming in the X direction, I want the Z direction. So now as you can see, we have this kind of a mask over here of black and white. We can have more control over it using color ramp. So I am going to use a color ramp in between these two. So now we can increase the black value so that it gets a better colorization. Now what we can do more is we can shade this smooth, so we have a smoother shading all over. So now let's scale this down a little bit more. Okay, so now we have this kind of a shader, and I am going to use a little bit more some more variations to this. So I'm going to use another wave texture and maybe a noise texture. Let's use a math node, and let's multiply this noise texture with this noise, and let's take this texture first and press Ctrl T. I am using node wrangler. You can go to the preference and select node wrangler so that you can add these two nodes with just a single press of Ctrl T. So now as you can see, the noise has been applied. So if I increase the noise, and you would see the noise getting bigger and more detail. If I go more detailed, you will find there is more detail to this thing. Now I can also use this wave texture as well, but let me see first. Let's work with this. Let's give this base color a little bit of blue, whichever color you like suits you more, you can give that. And this one I'll go white, and I'll leave that to be like that. Great. Now we can use we are using currently add, but I'm going to go multiply and see what happens there. If you do not get any update, wait for the shader to compile. Okay, so right now what happened was, since I did multiply, there was a change in the way this color ramp was working. So that's why I was not getting any update. So right now, as you can see, if I use this one, I need to change between the values of this white. I need to keep it to the left, and this blue I need to keep it here to get the same result as before. But this looks better, I suppose, so I'll stick to this one for the moment. So right now I have already created the bowl. Now let's create the the plate. So for the plate, let's go ahead and hide this one. Let's go to our layout, and let's bring in a circle. Now let's edit this circle. Let's go to our vertices mode, which is 1. Press E and then S to scale, extrude, and then scale it inwards. Then again do the same thing once more, and then press F to fill the circle. So now we have a circle to work with. Then we are going to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and select all the outer vertices, or let's go ahead and select the edges for now. Now we can go ahead and extrude upwards a little bit and then scale this a bit to give it a little bit of a pleatish vibe. So now we have the base mesh again. Let's shade this smooth and then let's go ahead and give it a subdivision. Let's give it a little bit of depth as well so that it does not conform. Okay, now it looks better, and then let's go ahead and give it a solidify modifier. And yeah, so now we have created the mesh for the plate as well. So now we can actually go ahead and change this name to bowl and this to plate. Now let's create a material for this plate as well. Let's go ahead and create a new material by pressing new. Let's change this to shader to RGB. Let's do that first. Then let's take a color ramp, stick it to the base color. Now we can use a gradient node, gradient texture, as well as a noise texture. Let's use a math to multiply them or add them, whatever you like. I'll use multiply for now. So now let's go ahead and put them through and use this value node as a factor. Now if we change, yes, as you can see, if we change this value, we are going to get lesser or lesser or more of either of the color. So now all we can do is we need to change the color to an appropriate value. So let's do that. Okay, so now we can change the scale of this and we have got our plate as well. So now we can check how big it is. We can increase the the scale of it, and we can tweak the color as we want to tweak it. So yes, that's all. Now all we need to do is press Shift A, go to grease pencil and press scene line art, and then check the scene view. Now you can see we have a line art that actually shows how this will look through the camera itself, and it looks good. I am not actually showing you how I made the other details inside this bowl and the other details that we have inside the plate for now. That is going to happen, but in a another video. So tune in for that one as well. So thank you so much for being here. We will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much.